Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of My Thoughts Exactly. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I am so happy that you are here. Happy Friday, you guys. I hope you've been having a great week. And if you haven't, guess what? It's over. We made it. It's Friday. It's the weekend. You did it. You guys, I said this last week. We usually don't keep up with like pop culture on this podcast. It's not something that we really do. It's just not something that I feel like you guys would be into. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But this Kate Middleton thing, I talked a little bit about it last time, and you guys had some wild theories. Some of you were like, Savannah, be so fucking for real. But there were some of you that were also in on it. It's not even that I believe the theories. It's just more so that I am like wrapped in the lore that is like the Kate Middleton theories. Like I am so deep into Kate Middleton theory TikTok. Like where is Kate Middleton TikTok that I don't even know how to think straight anymore. It's bad. It's gotten to a point where it's bad and I need to stop. But I just, well, actually, I wouldn't say it's that bad. I just like reading about it. I'm not making anything up. I'm just like reading about it. So maybe I'm just their target audience because I'm easily intrigued by this stuff. So who knows what's going on? I've heard the latest was like there's this farm video, or not a farm video, but like she was seen at a farmer's market, and a lot of people are saying that they think that that's fake. I read something that like the palace is about to announce something. Who knows what that is? They're throwing this other girl into the mix that they think that William had an affair with. There's a lot going on. And I'm intrigued, but we will see what happens. So with all that Kate Middleton chit chat out of the way, I wanted to just kind of take this episode and talk to you guys. As you can tell, the title is a little different than things that we normally talk about. I think this title is going to be something along the lines, I haven't titled it yet, but it will be something along the lines of I'm slacking, I'm struggling, I'm overwhelmed. One of those adjectives, because truthfully, that is exactly how I am feeling right now. And I kind of wanted to use this episode as a check-in with myself, a check-in with you guys. I asked you guys on My Thoughts, or the My Thoughts Exactly Instagram. If you don't follow it, it's just My Thoughts Exactly podcast. You definitely should. I did a little rebrand on the My Thoughts Exactly podcast Instagram, and I think it looks pretty cute if you ask me. But I asked you guys where you feel you're at with like your goals and the things that you want to accomplish in the new year. We talked about New Year's goals in the very beginning of the year, and now we're in March and we're nearing the end of March, which is nuts. I feel like I blinked and March went by. So yeah, I asked you guys on the podcast Instagram where you feel you're laying out with your goals and where you're at, because truthfully, I feel all over the place. And I kind of wanted to use this episode, like I said, as a check-in and really just like tell you guys where I'm at with like all of my goals and stuff. Not only to hold my own self accountable, but also like if any of you feel like you are, not where you want to be, I kind of want to give you that reassurance that it's okay, neither am I, and kind of just explain my thought process, because I've had a couple epiphanies over the past week just of how I've been moving recently, how I've been navigating life and tackling things, and how I am not working in my own best interest. I feel very much lately like I am spreading myself very thin. I feel like I'm running on autopilot. I feel like I'm running on empty, if I'm being honest. And it's all self-inflicted. Let's just start out there. This is no one else's fault but myself. And I kind of want to explain my thought process. So when I say I'm running on empty, it more so is in the social aspect of my life. I feel like socially I am very drained, and I think because of that, I am neglecting other priorities of mine, other places, other things that I want to accomplish, goals that I have, New Year's goals that we talked about, just like my own priorities. I feel like I have been slacking on because I'm putting a lot of emphasis on the social aspect of my life. And I'm going to explain why, because I did a lot of introspective thinking and I nailed down exactly what it is. So first things first, I think it's important to say that, and this just goes as like a disclaimer, I love my friends. Like, I love my friends more than anything. I prioritize my friends. I want my friends to feel important because they are important to me. They are some of the most important people in my life to me. I have gone through stages of my life where I feel like I have neglected my friends. I feel like I wasn't prioritizing my friends. And I feel like because of that, I have learned now that friendships to me are so important. I've talked to you guys how I've been in previous relationships where I was kind of isolated from my friends. And something that I really wanted to focus on in this relationship was that not happening, not letting that happen again, not letting history repeat itself in that way. Because at the end of the day, when you have friends and you get in a relationship, we've talked about this a lot. You have friends, you get in a relationship, you kind of push your friends to the side. If the relationship ends, who do you have at the end of the day? You have no one because you pushed all of your friends to the side. And, I just think it's really important, and it's been something that's been really important for me to prioritize my friendships. So I want to put that out there because it has nothing to do with my friends and it has everything to do with me. I am someone who has many different friends in many different friend groups. Like I'm not someone who has like one big friend group and like I see all my friends at one time. It's like I have many friends, right? And that's just, it sounds like a weird pick me thing to say, but like I do have multiple friends from multiple different friend groups. And I want to make sure that I am prioritizing every single one of them. I want every single one of them to know that they are important to me because they are. And I'm really trying to emphasize that because I don't want this to get misconstrued into me being like, I don't like my friends, because like that's just not the fucking case. I love my friends more than anything. And that's part of not the problem here, but that is exactly what it's displaying itself. So how I'm feeling now is I feel like I am pouring my cup like to empty, trying to fill up everyone else's. And what I mean by that is I feel like I am really just in overdrive right now when it comes to the social aspects of my life. I'm saying yes to everything. Friends want to see me, but I'm like not in the mood that day, or I'm tired, or I have work, or I have things that are going on. I'm going to move around my schedule to make sure that it's going to happen. I'm going to go above and beyond when I'm just not feeling too hot that day. And in turn, it definitely like depletes my energy even more. It depletes, a lot of things in my life even more. And I think it's finally catching up to me. I am fucking tired. I'm really, really tired. And it's not like I'm so tired because I stayed up last night and I'm hungover or whatever. I'm just emotionally tired right now. And I feel like a lot of the reason that I'm doing this, as I did some introspective thinking, I was thinking, why am I saying yes to everything? Why am I saying yes to everybody? Why can I not just be like, you know what? Not tonight. Like it's not going to work tonight. Or can we reschedule for another time? Why can I not say that? And I think after doing some thinking, one of the things that I realized is I am at a stage in my life where I feel like, I'm heading towards marriage and kids and that chapter. And that's so exciting. And I am very excited about that. But there's something in me that I have this kind of get it all out while you can complex. And I'm like, I need to say yes to everything. And I need to, go out and like run myself on until I'm like feeling like this, because there's going to be a point in my life where I'm not going to be able to so freely and so willingly do those things. And so that's kind of where my mindset is like, oh, I have to go out tonight because, in 5 years, I'm going to have kids and I'm not going to be able to. Or, I want to stay out really late because I can sleep when I'm dead. Like that mindset. And that's the mindset that has really been honestly very unhealthy for me. I know it works for some people and that's great. For me, for someone who's like not an incredibly I'm not like a crazy social person as it is. For someone who's like that to kind of feel that mindset and try and put that mindset into play. And it was a very subconscious thing that I did. It wasn't like I was like, you know what, Savannah, you need to start saying yes to things. It was just more so, my friends are asking to hang out. Of course I want to see them. Of course I want to go and spend time with them and create memories with them. And I think over time, I kind of created this complex in my head, especially when I turned 27. I don't know what happened when I turned 27, you guys, but I swear the baby talk, the marriage talk, the wedding talk, I was telling my friends about this actually. Like, I feel like it just came full force. Like, the clock struck midnight on my 27th birthday, and like something shifted in the air. Like, everyone was talking to me about marriage and kids and babies and what you're next and da 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 da. And it got me overwhelmed. Like, it got me really freaking overwhelmed because I was like, I still feel like I'm 16 years old. And I think that there is a part of me that's like trying to reclaim that, not reclaim it and like have a 16-year-old mindset, but like trying to, live out my like quote unquote young years as much and as best as I can. I think it probably also has something to do with the fact that like I didn't go to college really, and like I didn't have that college experience. Hayden, he went to Alabama, like he like partied. One of my best friends went to like big state schools where like that was like the norm. I didn't have that. And so I feel like in ways I'm kind of trying to play catch up, and I'm also just trying to, make these memories while I can, because like I said, I'm going to look back and I'm going to be like, oh, like I wish I took advantage of that time. And like, I don't want to be able to like look back and say those things. And so I'm kind of stuck in the middle between a rock and a hard place of wanting to go out and make those memories and see my friends and connect, and also wanting to prioritize like myself, because I feel lately like I have really slacked on putting myself first, and I'm saying yes to other people to make them happy. And it's not like, again, it's not like I don't want to see my friends. It's not like I don't want to have a social life. It's just like I'm saying yes to other people because I want to be able to look back on these memories. But sometimes what I'm learning is it's okay to say no. It's okay to be like, listen, I'm tired tonight. I'm not feeling it. I always feel so guilty. I feel guilty saying no because I think I grew up not really having a lot of friends, like in middle school and high school, really. Like the friends that I did have, like once I got into high school, like I was shitty too, like we've talked about that. But like in middle school and stuff, I always wanted friends. And even like when I moved here, I wanted friends. Like we've talked about that. I've been on Bumble BFF. I've done all the things. And so when a friend wants to hang out with me, it's like, of course I'm going to say yes because I want to see them. I want to maintain these strong friendships and relationships. And you need to prioritize your friends if you want them to prioritize you. But what I'm learning is that there needs to be a balance, because I cannot constantly keep saying yes to people because I am burning myself to the ground, because it's not just like friends. It's also, my dad lives in Tennessee. I have my mom coming in this weekend, which I cannot wait for. I'm so excited. And then my entire mom's side of the family is coming into town next week. And I have my sisters out here and my nieces and nephews. And so there's a lot of social components that are going through my life on a pretty consistent basis. And I'm so grateful for it. And again, I'm overly emphasizing because I don't want it to get twisted. It's me not finding a balance. That is the problem. I personally, me, Savannah, no one else has not found a balance of how to regulate a social life, a healthy social life, while also maintaining, my own sense of like just self and prioritizing myself. For example, like I told you, how many times have I told you guys I wanted to clean my office? This is just an example. How many times? So many times. I've talked about it so many times. Have I done it? No. Why? I haven't gotten around to it. I haven't had the time to do it because I've been constantly just like feeling like go, go, go. Another example is the past week, I haven't gotten into the gym very much. I think I've been once this week, and it's Tuesday, so I went yesterday and I'm going to go today. But last week, like I went, I think once or twice, and then that threw me off. It's like, it's throwing me off of my routines. It's throwing me off of like my goals and my priorities. And I think that I need to be able to distinguish what that balance is, that balance of wanting to maintain these friendships while also being able to maintain my sense of self and be there for myself. Because right now I kind of feel like very discombobulated in my life, and I feel like I don't really have a lot of control over it. And I also need to be able to understand that like that concept that I was talking about of like wanting to make memories while I can, and the whole, oh, you'll sleep when you're dead kind of thing. Like I need to understand that once that chapter of life happens, and I know so many of you out there can like probably vouch for this. Once that chapter of life happens, like, yes, things change, like life changes, you're not going to be able to so freely and willingly be like at the drop of a hat, like, oh, let's go out. Like the reality of that is not there anymore. But life doesn't stop. Like memories don't just stop. Like it's not like I'm going to be held down or I'm going to, not be able to do certain things. I'm so lucky to have such a great support system. Like I have an amazing family who would help me at the drop of a hat. I have amazing friends, It's just me running on overdrive because I have this like subconscious thing where I've been like, oh, I need to do this now because I'm not going to be able to do it later. And I think that comes into play when I have people chirping in my ear about like marriage and kids. And don't get me wrong, I am so excited for that. I am so freaking excited for that. We talked about that in the last episode. I told you guys, or maybe I didn't, maybe I did. I don't know what. I'm vlogging at the same time, like as this episode is being filmed. So I don't necessarily know what I've told you and what I've told the vlog. If you don't know, we started looking at engagement rings. Like the wedding talks are kind of like in the process. Nothing's happened. Nothing's at all. It's just like the very early conversations, very vague conversations. But, having those conversations and then having the talk about the timeline for kids, in the future and what we want that to look like, God willing. And I think that because of that, like because those conversations are happening, because I'm hearing people in my ear talk about it, like those types of conversations, while they do make me so excited, they also make me feel like I'm on like a constricted time frame of like, gotta get like the crazy out of me now while I still can, if that makes sense. And again, that's not a realistic way to think because, I can still have a social life. I can still have, that part of my life exist when that chapter begins. Just because that chapter begins doesn't mean I close it, or shut the chapter on, my social life, my friends, the people who I love. Like those two don't coincide with each other. It's just more so like this concept that I've created in my mind that I really need to squash, because once I am able to, squash that concept, I'll be able to remind myself that I need to start putting myself first, because the fact of the matter is I love my friends and this is something that they should be doing. Everyone else puts themselves first as well. Like if someone's tired or if someone doesn't want to do something or if it doesn't really work with someone's schedule or, I don't know if it's going to work for me this day. They do that. As they should. It's something that I admire about my friends so much, is that they're able to have these qualities of knowing what's best for themselves and knowing what's going to work and not work. And they're choosing themselves every time in those moments. And again, that's a quality I admire and I wish I could obtain it. And it's something that I need to learn, is saying no more, because then I get to this point where I'm overwhelmed. I'm not sleeping well. I feel like I have a million things going on at once and it's just not beneficial to myself, nor is it beneficial to anyone else around me, because then when I get around my friends when I'm like this, I'm really not that fun to be around. Like I went and saw a friend last night and I love her. She's so great. And we just sat on the couch when we were watching The Bachelor and it was great. Like we had a great time. But I felt like in those moments, I was like, I don't feel like I'm being fun right now. I don't feel like I'm, being lively enough or I'm commenting enough or I'm having enough dialogue. And like, it just felt like I wasn't not that I wasn't present, because I was, but I didn't feel like I was making the experience worthwhile for her as well, even though we were literally just sitting there watching The Bachelor. Like that's all it was. And so I left and I went home like after about like 2 hours, and she's so great. Like I know that that's like not a problem or an issue when it comes to her. But I was driving home and I was like, I just didn't feel like myself during that time. And, I didn't feel like, I was really giving the best version of myself, or I was there fully 100, like at my 100, like my level 100, which is like, the normal me. I didn't feel like I was giving that. And I don't think it really has anything to do with like the going out of all of it, because I do like to go out. Nashville has a lot of bars. I like to explore. I love having fun with my friends, but it's the same kind of way that I feel when I'm like just going out to dinner or just doing drinks, or if like I go over to a friend's or if a friend comes over to me, like it's still like all of that coincides being the same to me. Like those are still social interactions. So I feel the same throughout all of those. So it's not just like, oh, I'm going out, too much to the bars and I need to have more friends come over and just have chill nights. Like, that's not necessarily what it is, because like it's still being social, it's still drinking, it's still like a lot of that. I think it's just, not prioritizing myself enough, because not only is it like I'm going out and I'm seeing my friends, or they're coming to me, or we're doing whatever we're doing, but then I have Hayden, and I don't mean that in any, like, you guys know, I love Hayden so much, and I want to be able to be present and prioritize my relationship as well. And it's finding time that after I prioritize Hayden and after I prioritize my friends, like having the time to prioritize me, like that needs to happen. And I will say Hayden is so great at that. Like he prioritizes me day in and day out. He is so great at just making me feel so special and doing things that he knows helps me, because he knows I get overwhelmed, and he knows that I get, stressed, and he knows that I get into these, mindsets of just feeling like I'm doing too much and not enough all at the same time. And he's really there, being my rock through all of that. And like the calm within the storm is really the best way that I can describe it. And I would like to think that I am that for him as well. It's just, after prioritizing friends, Hayden, family, I feel like I don't have time to come back to myself, and I need to make that time. So that's what I want to really focus on in the next coming weeks and months, and just for the foreseeable future, is forcing myself to make that time. As much as I like, pretty much the same way that I would make plans with a friend, I'm going to start making plans with myself. I'm going to say, this night is blocked off for me. It is blocked off for me, or me and Hayden, and we're going to have a chill skincare wine night on the couch watching a show. That's going to be our recharge, because that's where I feel like the most at home, the most comfortable, like with church, just literally just like blocking out the rest of the world, like, and that is my recharge. So I want to, challenge myself in that way, to force myself to do that, and to dedicate at least one day a week to being like, this is my night. Like, this is my night where I'm just going to rot if I want to, or I'm going to do skincare if I want to, or I'm going to treat this night however I would like, but it's going to be my night because I need to recharge. That's what I need to start doing in my life, because honestly, like, it just feels like, I think tonight is actually the only night that I have like that's kind of like that. It's a Tuesday night. Yesterday I saw my friend. Tomorrow going to dinner with my dad. Thursday I have dinner with a friend. Friday I have another dinner with a friend. Saturday, my mom comes into town and we have like an engagement party thing for our friends. And Sunday, we'll probably do something with my family. So tonight is really the only night that I have to just decompress. And I'm going to fully take it in and soak it in and do skincare, do a face mask, take a bath, take an everything shower. I'm going to do all the things to reset and recharge, and just take this as your sign. You know, if you resonate with any of this, great. If you're like, this doesn't really, fit necessarily where I'm at in life, just take it as a sign to wherever you're at in life. Always focus on prioritizing yourself, because the less you do that, the more overwhelmed you're going to feel, the more spread thin you're going to feel, the more that you're going to feel you have so much on your plate and on your shoulders. It's just going to feel overwhelming. And like I said, because I've been feeling like this and not prioritizing myself, I really haven't been prioritizing my goals either. You know, those goals that I shared with you guys in the beginning of the year, I've kind of pushed those to the side. And I feel like that's very natural. It happens with, people and, like having different, you like kind of get to a point mid-year, or we're not even mid-year, but like you get to a point a couple months in where like things start to kind of lag a little bit. So it's not completely uncommon, but let's use this as a time to really check ourselves and be like, have I been doing what I needed to do to achieve my goals? Have I not? How can I fix it? What do I need to work on? What do I need to prioritize more? And with that being said, I actually asked you guys, like I said, on the My Thoughts Exactly Instagram, and I kind of wanted to kind of go through some of your responses. So what I asked you guys, I said, do you feel like you've kept up with your New Year's goals thus far? Is there anything that you're going to be changing? And here are some of the responses. I have definitely not kept up at all, just working towards a better me at the end of the day, which first of all, I love that. I think that that is so great. If all we're doing every day is just making ourselves a little bit better than the day before, I think we're winning. I really do. But then goes on to say, I'm changing the fact that I'm holding myself back from so much out of fear of failure, so I stop trying. I think that's a very valid and real concern that I think a lot of people have, fear of rejection, fear of failure. It's something that is very much a overwhelming feeling when you get to that point, and it can hold you back from a lot. And I used to be like that. I used to be very much, and I think there's still part of me that is. I do hold myself back in certain aspects and areas of life just because I'm afraid of the what ifs and of the failure and of the judgment and of the rejection. But I think it's really important to note that there's this quote that I saw a couple years ago, and it always rings true in my head. It says that in 10 years, you want to be able to look back on your life and say that you chose your life and you didn't settle for it. And I think that that applies to that exact fear, because if you are kind of just going through day by day, being afraid to try the things that you want to try, or commit to the things you want to commit to, or attempt the things that you want to accomplish, you're really selling yourself short, because you're not giving yourself the full opportunity to expand your potential and to see what you're capable of. If you fail, okay. It's just, it sucks, but it's a part of life. And it's, what's it? One door closes, another one opens. Like, rejection is redirection. I could give you a million different quotes that are cliches, but are cliches for a reason, because they're going to direct you to where you need to be in life. Not the quotes themselves, but the life path that you decide to choose. If you try something and you don't like it or you fail, on to the next. I think that that's just a really important thing to remind yourself of. It's like, you want to be able to choose your life. You don't want to settle for it in all facets: relationship, job, career, friendship, social, family, all of it. So that's what I would advise. The next one is said, I've stayed consistent before New Year's with fitness goals, no change, but I'm not giving up yet. I am so proud of you for being consistent. Being consistent is one of the hardest things. I find so much trouble and so much, I struggle with consistency. I will do things for a week or a week and a half, and then I'll kind of slowly but surely fall off, and then I'm inconsistent. So the fact that you're just being consistent, I commend you tremendously for that. I think that that's so amazing. I think it's so awesome. And I think that you should be really, really proud of yourself. And all I can say is keep going. It's probably frustrating to not see the changes that you're wanting to see, whether that's a numerical change or whether that's just a strictly looking at yourself and not seeing a physical change. Something that I would advise, just as a little maybe thing that I still do this actually, is progress pictures, because I know sometimes the number on the scale can be very and again, not saying that this is your experience at all, but I just wanted to point it out. Not saying that the number on the scale can be anything that sometimes you see it and it can be disappointing. You feel like you're putting in all this work and it's disappointing, but they say that the number on the scale doesn't matter for a reason. And a lot of people say that. And I think that it's important to take progress pictures so you can kind of see the physical changes of your body. So even though you're not necessarily seeing it on the scale, you can see what's kind of happening in the progress that you're putting in and the work and the effort that you're putting into yourself. I think it's really, I think it's, sometimes when we are the ones that are doing it and we're the ones looking in the mirror at ourselves every day, it's kind of hard for us to see, because we're just it's when you look at different shades of pink or white or nail polish or something, it's they all kind of look the same at the end of the day. When we're looking at each other or looking at ourselves every day, we tend to just have this one image that replays. We don't really see these big significant changes. But I think that if you take these progress pictures, I know something that it's still what I do. I'll go back from a month prior or 2 months prior and then take a progress picture of where I'm at now. I'm oh, okay. I actually do see some changes. They might be minor, but they're there. And I just think that that's a little tidbit of a tip that maybe you're doing it, maybe you're not, but just that's something that always kind of helped me. So there's that. Okay, next one. Yes and no. Yes on health, no on everything else. At least you're taking care of your health, honestly. I think that that's really important. But above all else, we need our health. And so if you're prioritizing your health, we love that. I think that that's so great. Next one is my diet. My wedding is in October and I struggle with emotional eating. First of all, congratulations on the wedding. That's amazing. And I'm so excited for you. Secondly, I can definitely relate to the emotional eating, and that's something that I've kind of been doing as well lately. I've kind of, been feeling stressed and overwhelmed and all of the feelings that I just shared. So when I feel like that, I tend to gravitate towards food because it's just a comfort for me. So I would just say give yourself some grace with that. Like, give yourself some grace. I know that, you're probably high on stress because your wedding's in October, but your wedding's in October, you have some time, and I'm just very excited for you in this journey and in this chapter for you. That's really, really, really exciting. Okay, next one. A few I have, but I still have yet to go to the gym and work out. Any tips to get motivated to go? I love how so many of us have, health and wellness and fitness goals. We're very like-minded in that way. As far as tips to get you to go to the gym or to get you to work out, honestly, and I don't know if this is a great tip or not, I'm not a nutritionist nor a fitness health guru person. I'm just someone who knows what works for me. Taking pre-workout always helps for me. It really does. It kicks me into gear. It gets my energy levels up. I don't really like doing coffee right before my workout unless it's iced, just because it makes me feel heavy. I like to do a little pre-workout or a little energy drink. Right now I've been loving the Uptime energy drinks. So just a little pre-workout or energy drink and a good playlist. A good playlist or a good podcast, whatever it is that you're into. Definitely leaning into those that you're excited to watch. For me, I don't let myself watch Vanderpump Rules unless I'm on the treadmill. So it gets me to go on the treadmill because I can watch Vanderpump Rules while I'm on the treadmill. I do not let myself watch it any other time because it's just my guilty pleasure show. And whatever it is, you'll find your little thing, and it can be something like that. It can be a good playlist or a podcast you want to listen to, whatever it is. Or, you can tell yourself you can't go get a coffee until you go to the gym. Something like that. That's what I used to do to myself, is I used to say I cannot go get a coffee unless I go to the gym. Did it always work? No, because I have very little self-control. But sometimes it did. So small wins. Anyways, you guys, that is kind of where we're at with all of it. I just wanted to share a few of your answers. I just posted that 20 minutes ago. So, I wanted to just share a couple of the answers that we had gotten thus far, but I also just wanted to kind of show you guys and, give examples of how, if you're feeling any of the way that I'm feeling, just feeling like I haven't been prioritizing what I need to prioritize lately, feeling drained, feeling stressed, feeling overwhelmed, knowing that we're kind of all in it together. And I know that sometimes it's an isolating feeling because we see what's going on in the world. And not only do you probably sit there and be like, there's so many bigger problems than the problems that I am just, sitting here and dealing with, but it's also, you see people going out and living their lives. You see people on social media. You feel like everyone else has it all figured out and I don't. And it's just not the reality. It's not the case. And I wanted to kind of express that today. I think it was important to talk about, and it's important to kind of give these check-ins every once in a while. We'll do it again in 2 months or so, and we'll see where we are on track with all of our goals and accomplishments and things that we wanted to do in 2024. So before we go, I do want to kind of have a special announcement. If you guys have been keeping up with the My Thoughts Exactly Instagram page, I told you guys that I have been working on organizing and hosting a fun trip for us, and I am so excited to announce that we narrowed down a destination. We are going to Costa Rica at the end of October 2024, and I am so freaking excited. The idea of being able to hang out with you guys have seen me grow up. I feel like you've grown up with me. I feel like I've grown up with you. And the opportunity to be able to hang out with you guys is something that I could only have ever dreamed of. So I am honestly so excited for this experience. And it's very exciting to tell you guys about this today because the trip has officially gone live today, Friday, March 22nd. And so the trip is live. You can go and check it out. I'm going to have all the links on the My Thoughts Exactly Instagram page for you to be able to go and click and get your tickets for the trip. There is limited spots available, and there are extra limited spots for early bird pricing. And so you're going to want to make sure that you are keeping up with all of the updates on the trip. I also will have the itinerary on the My Thoughts Exactly Instagram page. It is going to be such a fun trip. There are so many fun things lined up, planned, and we're really just going to be able to spend time together and have a great time, and I cannot wait. So make sure you go over and check out the My Thoughts Exactly Instagram page. That way you can secure your spot for the trip. So just wanted to put that out there before we end the episode today. But again, thank you guys so much for listening, and I love you guys. And yeah, that is all for me today. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of My Thoughts Exactly. Again, if you're new here, hi, my name is Savannah. I'm your host of My Thoughts Exactly. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss an episode. We post weekly here on the podcast every Friday. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll be back next week with a brand new one for you guys, and I'll see you then. Bye, guys.